All right, so it's started. Nobody's hearing anything yet because we got like 20 seconds or whatever. But this is the beginning of the video everyone's going to see on YouTube. So that's pretty exciting. I'm here with Tyler. Oh.
What's up, guys? Dropship Tyler here.
All right, let me see. I might have to move into another room. I'm not sure yet. Give me a second.
Okay.
Haha, awesome. All right, so it's started. Nobody's hearing anything yet because we got like 20 seconds or whatever. I can hear the stream. This is the beginning of the video everyone's going to see on YouTube.
So you can hear it, but,
so that's
but
pretty
you can't
exciting.
see it. Because we're live. We're live right now, right? And all I can see, I have the video pulled up.
There we go. So now it's going to be you. I was doing other stuff, so it'll be you soon. So now everything's ready.
Okay. Yeah. I see myself on there now.
I forgot that you need a separate device to look at the chat while you're doing this. So that's what just happened. But I'm really excited now. So you released the course recently, right? And that was the second one, right? Because you had the Sales Freaks one, but now this is a new one.
No. So this is the only course that I currently have. I have one on Udemy that's a VA course.
Gotcha. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. I did that one like 4 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And once I did that one, I had so much positive feedback on that one. I was just like, well, I really enjoyed making it. Might as well make another one about the way I do dropshipping because, there's already other people out there who teach their way of dropshipping. I feel like I have a unique way of doing it where I wanted to get that out and create a course and teach people that way rather than just, a bunch of random videos on YouTube. Because most of the information is out there on my YouTube channel, but in the course, you're able to give somebody the information in an organized fashion. And I feel like that's giving them the most benefit.
So what is it that made you decide to do the VA one first? Because I remember when you started working on that, because you talked about it in one of the calls. And I like it when people actually talk about doing something and then I get in touch with them later and it's like, hey, they did the thing. I remember that.
So to be honest with you, this sounds kind of bad, but I saw someone else is talking about coming out with a VA course and they were talking about, charging $150, $200 for it. And they started talking about it and in one of their channels and on their Facebook group. And that's when I was like, why does someone need to pay that much for a VA course? And this is something that I could teach really quickly. I did the course in a weekend. So I did the course in one weekend and I decided that I would charge $20 for it because everyone that wants to scale their eBay business, that's the most important thing. The two most important things are software and your virtual assistants. And some people don't even use software and they just use virtual assistants to do everything, which that just proves the point that virtual assistants are probably one of the most important aspects of the business, but people overcomplicate the hiring process, in my opinion, where you can find, a well-trained VA in the Philippines and people think that, they're some sort of idiot that they have to talk down to and whatever, and that they have to teach every little thing to. A lot of these people are more educated than you and me. Some of them have 4-year degrees and then, doctorates or whatever, and they make more being a VA. So they just decide to do that. They're very easy to train if you pick the right people and all of that. So I decided, I'll teach that in my course, how to find the right ones, how to train them, etc., and do it for a very cheap price. But I still wanted to put a price on it, just so I wasn't completely giving away the information for free. I wanted, something out of it, I guess. And also I chose the Udemy platform to be able to have a way where people could discover my course rather than just discover me through YouTube. Maybe they would discover me through Udemy and then find my YouTube from there. So that's kind of my whole reasoning behind pricing it low and also just trying to give people value for a low price compared to what, some other people were about to do or are doing now with a VA course. Yeah, that's a long-winded explanation. But
no, that's good. That wasn't long-winded. That was awesome. And I'm always happy when people are virtual assistants really is something that's incredibly useful. And it's something that the hard part about it is just whatever you think about it before you start actually doing it. For some reason with virtual assistants, there's so many reasons that people tell themselves they can't do it yet. But really, if you get good at working and communicating with a team of virtual assistants, then you can do anything else so much better. So, and that's so true that whatever your first task is for them, it almost doesn't even matter because you're building the relationship either way. And like, I have 2 VAs now and neither of them are doing, well, I only had one with the dropshipping stuff and it all led to other things. Like things in my life changed, but the VAs are still there. We have a relationship, like, and it's like this team. And if you find the right people, it's amazing what can happen. Really amazing.
I agree so much. Like you said, I mean, you've talked about it before with your YouTube VAs and what other VA? You have a YouTube VA and you have like not a Facebook VA. What is it?
So I have two VAs. One is in the is from the Philippines but lives in the UAE, and the other is in Morocco. So the one from Morocco did the drop shipping stuff, and now he does YouTube stuff for me. So he does the thumbnails and the tags, and that started like 2 weeks ago. And both of them work for like 30. Well, they're expected to work 30 minutes a day, and they're paid $100 a month. And like as one of them, it's more specific work, whereas the other knows me really well and watches my content and understands how to pressure me in like a positive way. So it's a very two-way relationship. And like, I really like the ability and the freedom to get to know your virtual assistants and understand who they are and what motivates them. It's really like, it's so much more fulfilling almost than actual like traditional employee relationships. I really enjoy that part of it.
Yeah, I agree for sure. And yeah, it's just a lot of people don't understand when they're hiring a virtual assistant. Like I just said previously, they are real people. They're a lot of times really smart. They can add so much benefit to your knowledge base because a lot of them have come from, other e-commerce fields or eBay dropshipping or whatever, and they can just add to your business. So yeah, I love my virtual assistants. I've had my 2 eBay virtual assistants that I have right now for customer service. I've had them for over a year now. And I know for a fact that they changed my life because obviously, they're freeing up my time and I can focus on more important things than answering people's messages on eBay or dealing with returns, whatever. But also, if you look at the amount of money I've paid them over the last year, and like I can see that on Upwork, like I know for a fact that their lives have been changed by that money. Like their families' lives have been changed by that money. And that really it's a good feeling. I wish I could do that for people in the US, but unfortunately with the way
you could do it for like 5 people overseas for one US person.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, and when I first started, I remember my parents were like, oh, why don't you, if you want a customer service person or whatever, why don't you try to find like, a war veteran or something and do like a good cause for that and hire somebody who may not be able to work in a regular field or whatever. And I was like, I would love to do that, but I can't because the money that I could pay them to run my business here, that money would be, they wouldn't work for it. It wouldn't be worth their time. So that's why it's definitely nice to be able to outsource and all that. Yeah. I saw you just moved positions.
Yeah, sorry.
There, getting a little better lighting. You said you're in California right now, right?
Yep.
What part of California?
Near Oakton, I think it is. We're in Dublin. Dublin.
Gotcha.
It's been
cool.
Really awesome. I'm staying with another YouTuber, and like I haven't been around another YouTuber in a while, and it's just really like I forgot how great it is to be in the same environment as somebody who like it's just really positive. It's cool.
Yeah, I bet. I don't know any other YouTubers personally, so I'm sure that's a great experience.
You visited Mark, so that's pretty similar.
Yeah, pretty similar.
He's a YouTuber.
That was crazy. The way Mark, we've talked about that before on your lives, how Mark operates. It's kind of nuts. He just gets a thought, makes a video, uploads it.
He gets to meet so many people. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's wild. It's definitely wild. But Yeah, I guess, should we actually talk about my course a little bit, maybe, instead of just talking about my VA course? I feel like, yeah, that's an important one, but
Lives are
I'm
best
really,
to take our time and
yeah,
give a lot of detail. You shouldn't rush
that's
through them.
true.
It takes
That's
like
true.
for a live stream to be most effective, it needs to be about 2 hours long, as far as I understand. They're not like
God,
other
that's,
videos.
yeah, that'd be a long time to talk, but I'm
I'm
sure we
just
could
saying we
find
can
enough.
afford to draw it out and explain some context here, because not everyone knows that you had another course, and that's relevant because it's honestly about something that I really value, and I think that people like should have virtual assistants. Even people who don't dropship, it like you can use them to do anything that requires a computer. You can literally have a VA where you have a relationship and like you don't take the time to research when you're trying to buy something, and you just tell them, "Hey, I'm trying to get a microscope, but I don't want to pay way too much, but I want a good one." And that text, like a day later, you get a link to the microscope and then you buy it. Or maybe they even like can buy stuff for you in some situations, you know? Like for personal people, that's probably crazy. But for drop shippers, I mean, is it really that crazy to have them place an order to your house? I mean,
No. I mean, literally, my Amazon VAs have placed over $2 million worth of Walmart orders for me. So, yeah, that's a lot of trust. But only one of them has the credit card information. I will say that that's how I limit my risk in that regard. But you're right; it's not that crazy to have somebody order something for you. So, yeah, it's wild.
so how was your experience making this course versus your VA course? Because your VA course you mentioned you did quite quickly, just a weekend, right? And then this one,
Yeah.
I feel like there's more to it than just a weekend, right? I think.
Exactly. And a lot of it, so I have a business partner named Anthony who helped me with the course. That's the only thing that we're partners on right now, but we have, future stuff that we're going to do as well. But he did some of the sections of the course and I did some of the sections of the course because I still wanted to get it done quickly, because I believe that if, you can start to take action, that's step one. But number two is actually completing the task. So like the faster you do it, and I didn't want to risk quality at the same time. So I figured, all right, so if I start it, I need to get it done or else it's just going to carry on forever. So I decided that it would be better to have a business partner, and that way we could not sacrifice quality, but we would still be able to get it done, twice as fast because there's two of us working on it. And also we can give each other feedback on how, we're actually doing with the sections of the course. And, if I owe Anthony something for the course, like, hey, have you done section 2, part 5 or whatever, because he's going to do part 6, and we want to make sure, we watch each other's stuff before whatever. There were some sections like that, but, we're pushing each other to like, hey, I got my stuff done, you need to get your stuff done, blah, blah, blah. And there was a mutual understanding there where we wanted to get it done as quickly as possible. As you mentioned before, it's cool to hear somebody talk about, oh, I'm going to do this thing, but then to actually see it done, that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Like, I would say I've talked to so many people who say they're going to do something, and then it's just like, what happened to that idea? Like, that was a good idea. Why didn't you follow through? So to see it actually complete and to get it actually complete and have somebody there pushing you to do it, just like you just mentioned, your VA pushes you to do stuff, and gets you to do stuff, whatever. Yeah, it was nice to have a business partner. But yeah, that was my experience for the second one. Also, the first one, I'm not gonna lie, because it was going on Udemy, I kind of felt like I could maybe sacrifice some of the details a little bit and then go back and fix them if I needed to, if that makes sense, because
Yeah.
it was a cheaper course. But it's all the information was there. And on this one, I was like, all right, I need to get as in-depth as possible, step by step in each video of how exactly I'm doing this, because that's what people are paying for at a $147 price point, rather than the $10 and $20 price point that I mentioned before.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that you think about these things, because there are a lot of people who are just like, they start at like $2,000 and then they're like, yeah, we can make it more expensive. We can make it more expensive. We can just keep doing that, And it's like, it's frustrating because if you hoard information, you lose access to it. And it really like, it's unfortunate how many people do that. They think that it's all about like knowing the secrets and having everything, but it's not. It's about sharing information so that you get access to everyone else's stuff, because then you can have so much more than what you can have, right? It's awesome.
Agreed. I mean, like, what's the saying that two people together don't equal just like two different brains? It's like equals multiple brains. You know, whatever I'm trying. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
two people together is not just two people together. It's like multiplied, because two people thinking together, bouncing ideas off each other, whatever, sharing information is more powerful than, you know, like you said, hoarding it and just keeping it to themselves. And a good example of that, I mean, is when you form a mastermind group, right? And even with YouTube, you don't mean to meet some people that you meet, but like, for example, just because I share stuff on YouTube and all that, like I've met people who are really into marketing and they can help me with my course or, you know, other aspects of whatever. And if I didn't share stuff on YouTube, if I didn't share information with people, they would be less likely to share information back with me. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredibly beneficial. And it's great to be like around, like, I've been talking a lot to Chris, and he's another YouTuber as well that has benefited so much from YouTube. Like, what he did is he started a YouTube channel and the eBay store at the same time. And then it was like his goal was to get to 10,000 physical items, right? But then he changed the name of it, so it's Daily Refinement now. But it's been like, it's very different being around people who create content. It's good. I hope actually when I go back to Nicaragua, Tyler, I hope that you'll visit. That'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm actually planning a trip to Nicaragua. I talked to Mark February, but
Nice.
when I'm down there next time, if you're down there, I'll definitely.
I'll be there in February. So
Yeah, we'll have to meet up and create some content. Yeah, that'll be cool. Doing an actual live in person somewhere, rather than over the computer, because I feel like the internet's a little laggy sometimes right now. Anyway, but
we should probably. Because I just have this screen with view, so I could look at the live chat right now, but it would be easier if you look at the live chat.
I'm looking at the live chat right now. I see Paul J. Lipsky in there.
What's up,
I also
Paul?
see.
We gotta talk. He sent a Skype at the beginning of this.
Oh yeah, wait, what? You said you and Paul Skyped at the beginning of this?
No, he messaged me on Skype like right after. So in the recording, they'll see like that there's a message.
He was probably like, "Don't do that live with Dropship Tyler. Instead, do it with me." But I don't know if he's still in here. But then, also, I want to give a shout out to Noah Mincis. Have you seen him on your channel at all? He's in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a content creator, creating his own stuff. So he's another dropshipper, but he does it a different way. I think he's working with like wholesalers and stuff. But anyway, yeah, he always
the way
goes
eBay actually wants it done.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we can go on his channel and see what actually explain. I've watched some of his videos. They're pretty professional, but I just like giving people a shout out who I see all the time, because that means they're really. Oh, there's Paul J. Lipsky. He's back. But anyway, we don't need to give Paul a shout out. He's shout out by himself. Just him typing in the chat.
Any questions and stuff? Any things to discuss?
Let's see. I'm gonna scroll up here and see if we got anything. It's your live, so you can answer the questions. Or you can see what questions we want to. I'm not taking over your channel. Matthew said video is lagging a lot.
I just don't want to cause a loop with the stream.
Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate that the video is lagging. Oh well.
I can move to a room closer. 1 second.
Let's see. I'm gonna scroll up here and see if we got anything.
It's your live.
One guy asked at the beginning of the chat, he said,
you can see what questions
how can I
you
find
want.
winning
I'm not taking over
products?
your channel.
Do you get that question all the time? Like
The winning
people want to
product
find
question?
winning
Yeah,
products?
that's like basically a meme.
Yeah. That's the funniest question to me.
I think
I guess
it's a good phrase.
That's how you know, people not in the US, I feel like, describe products that sell a lot anyway. I think we just went off. Oh, we're back. You know what's interesting about this live? So do you have it set up to where you're doing the hangout and then you just clicked join live session, or are you doing like an OBS stream
I'm
or
doing
something?
an OBS stream so people can see the I have
chat?
to be in Hangout. I usually do that just because if I want to show something, I can show a website, that kind of thing, without doing the whole share screen process. It's instant.
That's why it's probably lagging, to be honest. That's why the lag's happening.
I was also in the worst room for internet. So now we're back. Yeah, now I can see the chat, but everyone else is going to see what I'm looking at, which is fine.
Luxury Card Store said, nope, you're here. All right, so we're good. Lag is frozen. Yeah, I've never done it this way with the OBS Studio. I've always done it because I was also kind of curious why it wasn't switching back and forth between us. And then I realized, I was like, damn, I look like a deer in headlights because it's been on me the whole time and I did not realize it. I thought it was switching between Jack and I. So, and now you got it paused on me looking like I have a huge overbite. Man, good times. Good times.
I'm looking at the chat right now.
Yeah.
Dropshipping is a way of life. It says that they've gone through 2 VAs and just hired their third, and asked if you always do an interview during your hiring process.
Wait, sorry. Can I just one thing real quick? Let me say, dropshipping is a way of life. I'm not frozen. Jack has the video paused on his screen, so I'm not frozen. He just decided to pause it on the goofiest face I can make, and that way I would look frozen. But yeah, I'm not frozen. Sorry. And the question you were referring to, Jack, was about the VAs.
Yeah.
Who asked it?
Dropshipping is a way of life, actually. Same person.
Okay,
asked
same
if
person.
You always interview during the hiring process.
If I always interview. So yeah, I don't always do a live face-to-face interview. I will do a Skype chat interview and ask them questions and see how they respond. And there we go, I'm back on. But anyway, so yeah, I ask and I see how they respond. I see how you can tell how good somebody's English is based on how they type. So, I mean, it is a good way to, like, you know, build trust with somebody to do a face-to-face, but I don't necessarily think it's always necessary depending on the task you're giving the person. So like I had a person, I used this software called Chili Hunter to do product research. They're not going to steal, you know, they're not going to be able to steal anything or whatever by logging into my Chili Hunter account and just finding products, you know, and exporting them onto my SaleFreaks account, whatever. They can't even log into my SaleFreaks account. Nothing is involved in the money. That person, I didn't need to, I felt like I didn't need to have a face-to-face with them. I made a video. I uploaded the video to, you know, the Google Drive. They watched the video. I asked them questions on chat, and then they were good to go. So that's an example of like a quick hire that I did. And I think it's because I've hired and talked to so many VAs at this point, and I've also had to fire some, that I'm just comfortable with the whole process now, you know? And maybe somebody just starting off, they're like, oh, I need to make sure I know every single thing about this person. Like I actually know somebody who does background checks on their VAs and only hires from the US. And I'm just like, man, this isn't what dropshipping is supposed to be. Dropshipping is supposed to be outsourced, cheap labor running your business for you while you sit in a hammock and read 4-hour work week. I'm just kidding, but I mean, yeah, that's kind of how
you're not
David.
kidding. That's pretty true.
That's how David Vu pitched it, and that's how I've been. That's how I've been living the life since with the drop shipping. It's like literally, I just try to outsource as much as I can, and focus on the stuff like I said that I can make money on the side. So yeah.
That's awesome to hear. Actually, I met with someone today who had known about dropshipping for 7 years. So Chris and I went and hung out with her because when I said that we were in the area, she lives close by. And it was cool because she essentially heard about it because somebody she knew got drop shipped and was like, I ordered this from this website, but then it showed up in this box. And so she was like, whoa. It's funny because I don't know if I've often heard the response to that be, that's cool, I should do that. It's usually, screw them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I wonder how many people have learned about drop shipping that way, like getting a package from another store and then figuring out themselves, being like, wow, I wonder if, I can do this. Yeah, I mean,
should just start putting a little, I intended to challenge the does the receipt matter thing by getting a Sharpie and like sending people packages physically and then writing like you've been drop shipped, but make it look like it was in an Amazon box, but it actually wasn't, right? That I'd physically shipped it. Or done Amazons where that's that gift note, like you've been drop shipped, just to see how long it would take. Like how many times would you have to send that out before somebody said something about it?
Yeah.
How many times do you think?
That would be funny. Because honestly, I mean, the craziest thing with receipts, that's like one of the biggest things that people have a question on when they first start. And what's funny is, I don't know if you know this, but when Amazon sends a gift receipt, somebody can just scan on their phone and it sends a thank you note automatically to the person's email that the account came from. So I get these thank you notes all of the time from my buyers that have literally taken their phone and scanned the QR code or whatever it's called and sent me a thank you note. And I've had ones that are absolutely mind-blowing, like people saying, because it says like, so-and-so has sent you a gift, whatever name's on the Amazon account that I used to purchase. And it says, when they get the receipt, so-and-so has sent you this gift, whatever. People literally take the QR code, they type out a message, and they send me a message back. One of them was for some like rec specs that somebody bought for me on Amazon or something like that, some sort of basketball related thing, and that somebody needed, or some kid needed. And the parents sent me a note back like, oh my God, how did you know Sam needed this? I don't know who sent us this, but you are an angel sent from heaven that you would do something so kind anonymously. And it's like, you bought this item from me. This was the item you purchased. That's the reason you got it, like it's so funny. They thought somebody else gifted them the item, and then just by chance, anyway.
It was probably like one person in the house ordered it, and then somebody else opened the package, and it said it was a gift. And then because they didn't know that the other person had ordered it, because...
Oh, man.
That's pretty great.
I could go through my email right now, actually, and check some of these out, but I'm not going to, but... Well, I might as well. I mean, I don't know. Just while we're talking, if I see a funny one that I'm browsing, we'll look at it. But another good one, this reminds me, just because you said someone ordered it and someone else could have gotten it and not realized it, whatever. One of the funniest ones was I sold this fish tank ornament. It was like one of my best sellers, a fish tank ornament. And somebody messaged me and said, hey, we actually just received one from Amazon. Could you cancel this order, please?
For no apparent reason. It just showed up.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, check the tracking. That's the one you bought from me. We ship and store our items with multiple vendors, whatever, and Amazon happens to be one of them. But the person literally thought that just a random fish tank ornament showed up from Amazon somehow, and that it had nothing to do with the one they bought from eBay. Man, that was funny. That was a good one. I'm sure you've had some funny dropshipping experiences too. We all have.
Yeah, most of them are like, honestly, I had most of them were in the beginning and then crazy after that. the most stressful ones, there was 2 or 3 occasions where 20 to 30 orders got canceled at once, or like were out of stock essentially. So that was, that's always fun to deal with. And then that's kind of what like burned into me. Oh, like I gotta have a system for out of stocks. All right. Because that caused, those 2 events were the vast majority of the negative feedback on the account. Aside from that, those 2 occasions, it was pretty normal, but it takes time for that to pass. Although I've always wondered about feedback, because it's really not something that I have faith matters as much as people say. But
I know a guy who has a 98.2% feedback, but does way more sales than I do. So, I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. Mine always stays
with
around.
Like 95. I guess you can't, because it has to stay above 98. Oh no,
that's
no,
the worst. That's the worst. The worst I've seen is 98.2 out of all the dropshippers I talk to. I've never seen anyone worse than that. I'm sure. Well, I mean, at least like I said, out of the people that I talk to regularly.
Yeah, like established people,
All of my accounts ever have stayed between 98.5 and, I mean, I've had, obviously, they're 100% for a while, but 99.5 would be really good. I believe on one of my accounts right now, I'm at like 99.2. But yeah, that one fluctuates between 99 and 99.2. But I just don't think it matters that much. Like you said, I think as long as you're above like 98.5%, I think you can be pretty happy with how you're performing as a dropshipper. Because if you start worrying about it too much, you start losing money in areas that, like by giving partial refunds or, refunding people, you start losing money in areas that you don't really need to be losing that money just to try to maintain that feedback that may not be as important as you think it is.
It's just something that makes you feel like you're contributing, but maybe you're not.
Yeah.
So drop shipping as a way of life brought something up actually that's pretty cool. They said that on their gift receipts, they write, "Thank you for shopping with us on eBay." I've never thought of, that's cool. Like I've never thought of putting that there.
I've never heard of anyone doing that, but that actually is a really good idea.
Might reduce a little bit of the confusion.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%. I wonder if Sale Freaks can do that, because right now Sale Freaks, what they do is they just clear the receipt and don't say anything when they because it's an auto order software, you know what I mean? Like it automatically does the orders for us. So I wonder if they could put a message there instead. That would be pretty cool. All right, so Luxury Card Store has a question for you. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
How did you find out about dropshipping?
I was selling on eBay, and it was because I was really sick at the time. I was struggling with fatigue, and I had kind of accepted that I wasn't going to get better, or that was a possibility, and I had to figure out how to earn money from home because I needed to be able to rest when I was sick so that I was able to like be awake and feel okay. Things were really like intense if I didn't get enough rest, and I had to like rest to do pretty much anything. So I was highly motivated to figure something out that I could do on my own schedule so that I could sleep appropriately, basically. And eBay was my kind of entry point to that. And so I was just selling stuff physically and that kind of thing. And I think I've been doing that for like a year and a half. And one of my friends just sent me a link to a Udemy course because it was about eBay and he knew I was doing eBay stuff. It was David Vu's eBay with no inventory at the time. Or it was a different title back then. But I took that, and then like at first I was like, this is just PowerPoints. This person made this in just PowerPoints. Wow, but it's so useful to me. And it's PowerPoints. What? It was awesome. And I took that course and then pretty much immediately decided it made way more sense to just drop ship than physically ship. But I was at a good position there because I had grown the account through physical shipping. And that, I think, got me a lot more kind of initial credibility with eBay, which is one of the reasons the account was able to get so big before. Because it got to a point where I just stopped getting limit increases because there was no way I had things at 10 times default quantity and everything, and it was like still just a fraction of them, you know?
Yeah, and You know what's interesting nowadays is I believe that eBay's kind of reverted back to that where you should probably start with your own items and then start drop shipping after you have an account that has your own items on there.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to start a new account, because a lot of people are starting new accounts and they're getting shut down because eBay, you know, is like very sensitive to drop shipping right now.
Yeah.
I think what you just said about like, you know, selling your own stuff or whatever, and then starting to do drop shipping, the account probably has a lot more potential for like longevity.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
if you have a sales history, even if you completely changed your strategy, eBay doesn't care. They just look at what you've done in the past. So that definitely is a good way to get better results as a dropshipper.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Should we look at some more questions or it's your live. You make the calls, Jack.
Yeah, I actually have, so I have the questions showing on the stream and I should have started it this way, but I think this will mean that some people can see the chat in two places because they can see the chat where they're typing and the chat there, but I like doing it this way because we're doing the live stream, but we're also creating a video that people can watch later. So like but at the same time, when you can look at the chat with past live streams, can't you?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. So they'll be able to see it on the screen, and they'll be able to see it over here on the right. But yeah, like I said, I've never done it this way. This is interesting. I wonder if it hurts the quality at all, but I don't know.
As far as I understand, like, because right now, like I'm in a different place, and I got closer to the modem now. But that's pretty much mostly what I could do. As far as I understand, it's so much more about your bit rate. Because right now, this is actually an FLV file. And that, like, my camera isn't being used at all at the moment. So camera footage is what like, it's being used to project to you, but in the recording itself, the recording is just capturing the screen. And FLV files are, like, way, way smaller.
Gotcha.
But I'm not sure if when you're streaming it does that as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. This person, I feel like you'd answer this question better than me with the Fortnite Legends. He says, question, sir, equals, please, to your knowledge, sir, is there a software or plugin for dropshipping from eBay/Amazon into WordPress website Woocomerce that has an automatic pricer? I don't know anything else about dropshipping except for eBay and Amazon. So this would be outside of my realm.
I think I can't accurately answer that question. I have an association of Woocomerce to SkuGrid. I think that Woocomerce is affiliated or associated with them, or at least SkuGrid mentioned them in a mailing letter at some point. But let's see, I guess this is one of the moments. Woocomerce. Let's see. So now I'm showing the screen. Is it Shopify related? WordPress. Shopify. WordPress. Do you know the relation between WordPress and Shopify?
They're two separate entities. So WordPress is like just, a place you can host a website and build a website, all of that. Shopify has like basically pre-made websites that you can use to create your own like e-commerce store or whatever. Like WordPress isn't specifically just for e-commerce stores, but I feel like Shopify is. Can you drop ship from Fortnite to eBay? That is a great question.
There's got to be some way to use something drop shipping related in like some game, not in the virtual game itself, but there are some games where people can actually like purchase things and stuff and like receive them in their house.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before where it's like what is it called? Man, there's like virtual real estate you can buy on some of these games, and then like it goes up in value and people pay real currency to get it's all crazy, man.
There's a drop shipping store in Second Life.
Is that what that game's called, Second Life?
Second Life is the game that in the game, everything costs real currency. So if you want to purchase land in the game or something, you have to pay like dollars for it.
That's the one I'm thinking of for like real estate and stuff, and like buying, like you can have a store set up, and there's people who have literally become millionaires from it. I watched a documentary on this. If people aren't drop shipping on there, then we should be drop shipping on Second Life. It's like an untapped market.
One of
although it's probably in their terms of service that we can't drop ship on there.
I doubt it.
No,
I'm just kidding. You can do a lot there. I knew someone. No. I dated someone, and her dad, that's like how he earned money, was through a business essentially in Second Life that made like these dragon eggs, and you could like get the dragon eggs and like get them to hatch and stuff, and like it was him, and he did the coding, and then an artist that did the like art for everything. And it's
man, there's so many ways to make money online. It's insane. It's so crazy. Like everyone just lives through the internet nowadays, or they will if they haven't already. But it's becoming more of like a accepted thing though. Like everyone being on their phones all the time and all that. Obviously, the older generation hates it, but the fact that you're spending,
I kind of hate it too now, man.
Yeah, but it's just, it allows you the freedom. But you're right. I mean, people get sucked into their phones all the time.
Having a phone somewhere in your house allows you the freedom, but having it on you all the time, I don't think is healthy. And that's something I struggle with myself sometimes. It definitely helps.
I agree with that. I mean, what's the average? How long is the average? Let's just look this up. How long is the average millennial on their phone a day? I guarantee you there's a good answer for this one.
It's probably something disturbing. Like a healthy percentage of the time compared to how much we spend sleeping.
The simple answer is over 4 hours a day, it says.
I know that like there's screen time in iPhones that measures that. It's all a very easy metric to measure.
It says the average adult, so that's 18 plus, spends 2 hours and 51 minutes, but that includes an older generation that probably doesn't spend too much time on their phone.
It'd be cool to know like ages like 18 to 22, 22 to 28 or whatever,
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
For sure. I mean, like I said though, there's so many opportunities to make money online, and the more time people spend on their phones or on YouTube or anything like that, there's only going to become more opportunities. So yeah, it's pretty nuts. I'm honestly, I'm glad I found drop shipping. Even if 5 years from now I'm doing nothing drop shipping related, I'm glad I found it, and it took me into this whole world of like being able to find ways to make money through the internet. Because I mean, as you said, it can get unhealthy, but it really is, in my opinion.
It's amazing.
It's the greatest opportunity of our lifetime. As much as my parents hate to for me to say that, because they see that I'm on my phone and whatever. Yeah, I mean,
being able to use a computer and the internet.
There's no denying it. Yeah, there's no denying it. Anyway, yeah, it's weird, and it's weird too how people literally can form relationships through a computer. And I was just talking with a guy joining Jeremy. He's got a channel. I was just talking with this guy. I've been talking to him for like 2 years. Paul knows him. We all three of us talk in the same Facebook chat quite frequently. But I sell him gift cards with my American Express points. And like what I do is like get a bunch of American Express points, and instead of converting them to cash to pay off my bill or whatever for American Express, I actually get a better percentage rate if I buy Home Depot gift cards with my Amex points. So I buy Home Depot gift cards with those Amex points, and I sell them to Jeremy. I've sold them to Paul in the past too, the gift cards, at a 5% discount, whatever. I told Jeremy the other day, I was like, hey man, I've got $3,000 worth of points from my statement this month. Do you want to buy these gift cards from me? And he's like, yeah. He sends me $3,000 right away. Never met the person in real life. But
jeez,
you know,
that's reckless.
We've talked for 2 years, And so he sent me the $3,000, and I was just like, wow, man, pretty trustworthy of you to send somebody money you've never met before I even like have the gift cards from Amex to send to you. You know, like I still have to purchase them with the points, get the e-file and send it to you. But yeah, he like that's the kind of relationship that you can form online, which is pretty insane. Because even I think like before I got into drop shipping, I'll just be like, yeah, that's weird. But now, you know, now that I'm in drop shipping and YouTube and all that, I mean, I can see it. So it's weird. You trust that he was like, yeah, and his exact words to me were literally like, I have people that I trust more online than I do like friends in real life, which is pretty crazy. Like he wouldn't just send a friend in real life $3,000, but he would send somebody online $3,000 that he's been talking to every day for 2 years. So pretty wild.
Yeah, right. Somebody brought up something interesting, actually. Luxury card stores said that they're responding to a comment about not being able to sell digital goods on eBay. And apparently you can sell them on Etsy, which is interesting because I didn't think of that as just something about Etsy. I've been meaning to look more into Etsy just to understand it. But I haven't gotten around to that yet.
Yeah, I don't really know that much about Etsy either. I think Matt used to drop ship on Etsy. I'm not sure though. I don't know anything about selling digital products on Etsy. Luxury, but a luxury card store. So
sell like a court. Nah, that's so weird.
Oh, what?
If you could like a physical drop shipping course, like a drop shipping course that you purchased and it got shipped to you.
That would be interesting. So you're talking about like creating like a DVD set or something?
I don't know. Like, no, dude, it would just be funny to actually physically send it to them.
Man, that's actually a really good idea though. Like, what if you created a DVD series, put it into Amazon FBA on how to drop ship on eBay, and then it got sent to the person? Yeah. That would be interesting. I've actually never thought about that. Pretty good stuff. But I guarantee you, if eBay saw you were selling things on how to drop ship right now on their platform, they would probably kick you off pretty quickly. Because they don't like it very much right now. Someone asked me a question on how many states I have economic nexus on right now. I got 27 permits. I believe it was 20 states that I had economic nexus. And then 7 states I had nexus because of Walmart. Like, you know how Walmart only lets you get tax exempt in like all but 7 or 8 of the states?
Yeah, you have to have the actual, like,
yeah.
You can get more exemptions if you register in those states.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I had to actually get those permits. So I'm tax exempt in all states on Walmart now. Mm-hmm. And I had to get those permits plus the 20 that I had economic nexus on, or some of them may have crossed over into economic nexus. But yeah, total 27 permits is what I got for, you know, this ace man who asked the question. That's probably the biggest pain in the ass is setting up all those on TaxJar. And if you know how like TaxJar has like auto enroll, mm-hmm. where you can automatically send you the tax. So if you come in during a period of like in the middle of an enrollment cycle, you have to pay like your portion for that month, and then it can get it's weird. Like it gets very manual at first, and then once you're caught up and you go into a new enrollment period, then it starts becoming automated. So it's not automated at first. It's a pain in the ass to learn everything with paying the state's sales tax. And then, like I said, once that phase happens and you get into that new enrollment period, do the auto enrollment, everything's smooth after that. But sales tax and doing it the correct way is such a pain in the ass. I wish states would make it so much easier on us, because more people would do it right then, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like people wouldn't not pay their sales tax and stuff. But
I've always felt like I'm not super bothered about paying taxes. I feel very grateful to be like, even as an individual who's about to be living not in the States, but paying a third of my income to the States, I feel I'm okay with taxes. But it would make way more sense if it was just autonomous. Like, I mean, if you're going to take the money, at least have a good system to do it. And don't give us the option to just be like, well, actually, we don't owe you that much. We have less. I'm going to change these numbers. Like,
Oh my
it just
God.
seems a bit
I know.
silly, you know?
It does. It does. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then like establishing at what point you had Nexus is like left up to you and all of that. And it's like, man, I hope I'm doing everything right, you know?
Yeah.
But I think right now, you know, we're not a Wayfair where, you know, they're not going to come after us over, you know, a few $100s, but you should still do it right. Because if they do come after you, you're going to owe a lot more than a few $100s if you're incorrect. So, but I've talked to people before who said, at least if you're trying to do it the right way, the state is much more lenient on you, and they're not going to ask for, you know, the fees and stuff that they would normally charge someone who's trying to basically game the system.
Yeah.
But if you are trying your hardest to do everything correctly, then the state will just basically say, hey, you did it wrong. This is how much you owe. Instead of like coming in and being like, hey, by the way, you owe us this fee right here, this fee right here for being late and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, you know, we're going to garnish all your wages. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like they're a lot nicer on you if you just try to do it correctly. Once you have an LLC, you can get exempt in almost every state. Yeah, Noah, but did you actually get the permits in all the states? That's what I want to know. Because if you didn't, then you're not actually doing it the right way, from what I understand. All right. Can I pitch my course a little bit, Jack?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
See what I did there?
Yeah. All right. So, guys, I haven't talked much about the course, but the live Q&A was about the course, and we did talk about the virtual assistant course for a little bit. We talked about my experience with this new course versus creating a Udemy course. And by the way, I want to get your experience after this, Jack, on creating your second course compared to your first and how much easier it was, whatever. Mm-hmm. But this course that I created, it's right now it's $47. It's going up to $97, and I actually created a coupon code, especially for Jack here. It's Blackjack Friday. I felt like that was. So if you use the code Blackjack Friday and you click on Jack's link in the description below, you're going to get the course for $47. Jack's going to get to eat tomorrow because he gets 50% of that. And he can buy his plane ticket down to Nicaragua so he can keep doing these cool YouTube videos, right?
I actually already have my plane tickets.
Oh, nice. All right.
Surprisingly.
All right. Well, you can get his plane ticket back now if you purchase the course. So, but anyway, guys, yeah, the course is going up to $97 after this. You know, it's not like really a one-time coupon code because I've done it before in my lives where I've made the course $47, but $97 is the price of the course right now, and then it's going to go up to $147. But like I said, with this coupon code Blackjack Friday, you're going to get it for $47. The course is all about how to create an automated eBay dropshipping business. And what that entails is how to use the SaleFreak software to do Amazon to eBay arbitrage. And if you purchased Jack's course before, which you probably should, it's on Udemy. Jack, you should stick a link in the description below for everyone who watches this video in the future.
It's on like every YouTube video I've ever done, so they can just click on another one. It'll be all
so
right.
in that course, Jack, you explain all the different methods of dropshipping correct? And like the bulk and the optimized and all that. That's kind of what the course is about.
Yeah, it's like I view it as an introduction to the scene that is dropshipping. I don't want to just teach people a specific way that something is done. I want to give them some insight, because the reality is, as beginners, it's not about knowing like a secret strategy or an exact route. It's about understanding the whole dynamic of dropshipping and what it looks like and how people use it, and being able to connect with the individuals who do use it in their lives. If you're able to do these things, then essentially you become so much more likely to actually be able to use dropshipping to get whatever it is that you want. Whereas if you aren't able to do these things, then even if you follow some step-by-step exact instructions, the chances of you following through statistically are really, really, really low. Like the vast majority of people just don't follow through, you know? So being able to do that is amazing.
Yeah, so so your course, like you said, introduction to dropshipping, overview of what it can give you, all of that. So that your course is still a very good way for people to learn about what it is, right? And even how to do it and the strategies involved. But I told you this at the beginning where I wanted to create a way where people learned my method of dropshipping. And everyone talks about, the 3 main methods of dropshipping: the bulk dropshipping and sniping and optimization. So, like what I've done is kind of a combination of all 3. And I feel like all 3 strategies kind of stem from, or all strategies now, all modern dropshipping strategies that are profitable. And not just, optimization is obviously profitable and sniping is profitable, but I'm saying the most profitable ones kind of are a mixture of those 3 strategies combined. So that's kind of what I'm teaching in the course, is how to take, your overview and this, even David Vu's overview of like what optimization is, or your overview of what all 3 of these strategies are, and how it can, like you said, impact their lives.
Used specifically.
And then I'm teaching like how to actually implement the thing that I'm doing. So I don't want to step on your toes and say I'm competing with your course, because I don't want people to think.
No. It's people, like, from my perspective, if you want to learn about dropshipping, you should expose yourself to multiple different opinions. If you take one person's course and that's it, it's not good, really. You want to take lots of different approaches. That's really, really important.
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, there's people out there who I think, like if you had made a course on bulk dropshipping, right, earlier, I'm saying, I know you have now, like that you explained it or whatever, but if you had made it earlier, even though I wasn't doing bulk dropshipping, when I first started out, I 100% would have bought it, but you already given away enough information on YouTube for me to get out of it. But at the time, I would have liked to see a step-by-step in order of even though I wasn't really going to do it, I just think I could learn so much from buying that course. Or someone who's dropshipping from AliExpress, I might not actually do that, but I kind of want to buy the course to see if it's something I would ever want to try.
International dropshipping scene is so big. It is like, if you think that US people represent a majority of dropshippers, to anyone listening, that's not true. It really isn't even, so many more people are overseas. It's true that a lot of people are in the States, but people overseas can often benefit so much more than people in the States, because the money in a lot of these countries goes so much further. And it's really it's cool for me to know about that scene and trying to learn, okay, how do I get more involved with these people kind of outside of my network that know how to do these things? Because when it comes to AliExpress, people are often quite dismissive of it because of the long shipping times and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And that's a very US perspective, because from overseas, it's AliExpress accepts any payment, basically. They'll accept your overseas foreign credit card. They're cool with that. So you don't even have to deal with that problem. That's hugely incentivizing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of reasons to use Chinese sources when you're international, versus people who are based in the States. It really is a different scene almost. And dropshipping is so contained in itself. I've always found it so odd that the eBay resale scene and the eBay dropshipping scene have almost nothing to do with each other. It's so weird.
Speaking of learning from international dropshippers and stuff, I preached this a lot in the past. I honestly think, or I did think, I don't know, I haven't studied them as much anymore, but I used to study Israeli dropshippers so much because they were the ones doing Amazon to eBay arbitrage the most. Obviously, AliExpress is huge for some countries, but from my experience, the Israelis were the best at doing the Amazon to eBay arbitrage. And so I used to study the Israeli sellers and specifically snipe the Israeli sellers because they were just crushing it. And they were also having to pay the additional fees and all that other stuff. And they were still doing, very well on eBay, while dealing with more things than a US seller had to kind of deal with. But yeah, so I definitely studied some international drop shippers, but nothing with AliExpress right now.
It's interesting because there's I talked with a couple Israeli dropshippers through the Skype calls when I was focused on doing like a Skype call a day for a while, right? And one thing I learned is that there's definitely a cultural effect because they're required to do 3 years of military service, and then after that, there's like it's hard to go through that and not have more structure. So the people I talked to weren't like necessarily happy that they had to do it, but they very much said that it gave them a skill set that was really useful, and now they're able to do whatever they were actually interested in. And all three of the people I talked to had been through that same experience. So it's kind of interesting because you would actually think that Israel as a country wouldn't have too much of a dropshipping scene because there's normally a correlation to the cost of living. And Israel has a higher cost of living. It's not a country that is like Nicaragua or Thailand that's like cheap. But there's definitely it's really interesting, like trying to understand some of the cultural conditions in places and how dropshipping plays a role with that. It's really something I love learning more about, just because dropshipping is so under the table. Like everyone's like, "You dropship? Whoa, okay." It's sad that it's not talked about more. That's changing for sure, but it still has that reputation to a lot of people.
What's interesting too is that most of the dropshipping software isn't made in the US, and I feel like most of it's made in like either Israel or by Russians. So that's another interesting thing too, is that a lot of us US sellers are using Israeli software like Sale Freaks, for example, Chili Hunter, Zeek Analytics, AutoDS, I'm pretty sure. All of those are Israeli sellers, right? Or Israeli made, I mean. But yeah, it's interesting. Why I wonder why, man. There's a gold mine in software out there for US people who want to develop it, but it's just like you said, maybe the software companies don't even know about it or don't really it's just not talked about enough, whatever.
Yeah, it's hard to know how big the dropshipping scene is because there's not really things that unite kind of all dropshippers, right? And like we came around, like nowadays you can get dropshipping information on YouTube and stuff. And the reality is that there have been people dropshipping for a long time, and a lot of them just never shared that information. Like they just didn't. That wasn't done. So it's really kind of it's safe to assume that a lot of people have been doing it for a long time. But again, there's not really I think YouTube kind of is what made, and platforms like Udemy as well, anytime that dropshipping information was kind of mass produced, right, or made available on a bigger scale, like David Vu's course reached tens of thousands of students, like that is a lot further than a lot of these more expensive courses who they only need to sell like 2 or 3 a month because they're like $4,000 a pop. It's like it's crazy. And a lot of that overseas exists as well. Like that's something common in Thailand because there's so many digital nomads there and potentials that people are very like they want to get involved in that, and it's easy to abuse,
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel bad for the people that pay that much for certain courses because the information's out there for way cheaper than, and that includes like pretty much everything. There's not a single course out there, I guarantee you, that's for online that's like over $2,000 and you can't find that information, the same exact information, for a few $100s. It's just the matter of searching for it and being comfortable with the right people. Information. Yeah, exactly. And being comfortable with the person that produces that information and all of that. So yeah, that aspect to me, I mean, I don't know. I can't ever see myself creating a course and being like, oh, I'm going to charge $2,000 for it. I probably just shot myself in the foot if I ever find anything and want to do that. But now people are going to come back to this video and be like, wait, you said you would never charge $2,000 for a course. But no, I can never see myself doing that, man. Like, I don't know. I guess what we were talking about earlier with, sharing information is so important. I just don't feel like anything I know now or in the future that I want to share to the masses is, worth. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I just think it's ridiculous.
There really is a difference between information being worth it and just people would pay for it. Because the reality is that very little information is worth that much unless it's the only access to that information. So a lot of the time, you're just told and led to believe that it is the only access to that information because you have to think that way in order to be willing to pay that much. But you just don't need to.
There's just people out there that are such good internet marketers that they're just making it seem like something that is just a necessity to have in order to make money. But yeah, it's wild. It's definitely wild. And I didn't know much about this world until I got, into the whole YouTube thing. So it's opened my eyes up a lot, just doing it myself with the course and with YouTube and all of that. But yeah. Should we read some of these comments here? Or some of these chats?
Says that he knows somebody who has a Woocomerce site in the UK with 100,000 Amazon products. 100,000 products? I would never do that.
Man, how are they not getting sued like every single day by different people?
Maybe they're international.
Because there's no VERO filter on that, Like they probably just upload tons and tons of products and have a way to categorize it and then just...
If you set things up right, you can get sued and just like... Okay, traditionally, like... People are able to declare bankruptcy on LLCs and stuff, right? LLCs and other businesses, like a lot of it's about traditionally having physical businesses. So you can't just like start over quickly when a physical business goes bankrupt. But like with dropshipping stores, it's insane because like if something happens, then like if you play your cards right, you can just wipe it, move on to the next LLC, and then just restart the whole process. Like there are so many ways if you get the right information that you can just like reiterate and completely get past like having to worry about things getting banned because you literally have that as part of your workflow and system. It's like, it's insane, like crazy.
That's one thing that I don't want to say that eBay, that eBay catches on to these things. People, wipe a store or do exactly what they said. They create a store, it gets wiped out. They create another one, gets wiped out. And it's just part of their routine to open up new PayPals, somehow be able to transfer that PayPal money to a different account once an item sells. And then all the information's gone, but they still, have the money. And then they just create another one, whatever. eBay obviously has an issue with that. PayPal obviously has an issue with that. The people that are doing that the most are international sellers, and they're able to get away with it. And I'm not saying that, all international sellers are bad or eBay should ban all international sellers. But at the same time, if you really, really want to, look from eBay's perspective and say, all right, who are the sellers that are dropshipping that are causing the most issues on our platform? And, we can't do very much about it because we can't go after them, whatever. I mean, it's international dropshippers.
eBay has no idea what dropshipping really is. Like, to give some perspective to that, okay, sorry, retail arbitrage dropshipping, most of eBay's, like, upper level stuff they're not involved in the scene. They don't see it the way that we do. There is a lot of, like, judgment about the dropshipping scene from outside of it. It definitely is viewed as sketchy. And eBay's view of retail arbitrage dropshipping kind of it reflects that they feel that way. And ultimately, like, if you talk to eBay reps about the ones that will talk about why eBay doesn't like dropshipping, they'll say things like they don't like that things are showing up in Amazon boxes, that kind of stuff, right? And it's an interesting conversation because, like, when I switched to using Amazon from Walmart, my feedback rate and everything went up a lot because I would say that I was sending items out in 5 or 6 business days, right? That's when they would receive them. But then if I placed the order quickly and it was a 2-day shipping, it would arrive like 2 days early. And that just like overstating my shipping time and then using a shorter shipping time really helped handle the whole buyer experience a lot. And like I found that people in general were just quite happy to have gotten something early. And like people didn't really complain a whole lot about getting an Amazon box. Also, what's weird is that like eBay has a lot of used goods. It's really common for eBay sellers to just bash up whatever boxes were lying around in their house and ship them out. So it's not like dropshippers are creating this new like situation. And it just shows that eBay itself hasn't taken the time to really understand. And it's sad because if they did, they could regulate it, automate it, figure out how to work with buyers and make it more profitable and earn a lot of money from it and have a good buyer experience. But that's not the outlook, you know, and it's just, it's unfortunate.
It is. I mean, you would think that they would hire Dropship Tyler to come in and teach them about how dropshipping works, right? Someone who's been in the corporate world. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, that would be cool if they like reached out to a YouTuber and were like, "Hey, can you come in and
physical sellers have relationships with eBay." Like Chris knows eBay staff, Teresa knows eBay staff. A lot of these physical eBay sellers, like I think one thing is because dropshippers, like we also perceive ourselves as sketchy. So like, do you know any dropshippers who've gone to eBay Open?
Actually, the entire Sale Freaks upper management went to eBay Open last year. So yeah, I knew, and a couple of the Sale Freaks guys actually went to eBay Open.
That's good.
Like of the actual eBay sellers, I mean, went to eBay Open. But yeah. What's interesting though, before the drop in sale, or well, I guess it wasn't before. It was the summer before the drop in sales. So like summer 2017, Sale Freaks went to the eBay Open. Before, they would allow Sale Freaks to have a booth at the eBay Open. This past summer, they didn't allow Sale Freaks to have a booth at eBay Open. So maybe that was a little foreshadowing on what eBay thought about dropshipping, because they told Sale Freaks that they didn't want any, and other dropshipping softwares as well. They told Sale Freaks, I'm pretty sure, that they didn't want any software that wasn't for physical goods or whatever to be at the eBay Open or have a booth, but they were still welcome to come. They just weren't welcome to have a booth, is what happened. So that was definitely foreshadowing to what was going on there.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And like,
no one's ever talked about that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And there's also that just brought up something else. So for physical sellers, I knew a physical seller who just opened up a dropshipping. He got like the dropshipping flag, right? And this I think is really interesting because essentially, if eBay is trying, they don't want to make dropshipping gone. Otherwise, they would have just done that. Like they could very much just change their terms of service and not allowed it, right? They've always been able to do that. There's a reason that they've chosen to allow it to still happen. But it's very interesting how they are kind of like choking it for a bit by like flagging people as dropshippers, right? So what's so odd about this is like that just seems weird, Like I understand pushing it. I kind of understand it, but like, I don't know. It really, do you know much about File Exchange? Do you use it?
Yeah, I use it because I've talked to you a little bit about it. I'm creating that manual store.
Yeah.
So I've used the File Exchange, just to download orders or download the inventory report and modify it and re-upload back in there. So yeah, I've used it.
A lot of people don't know about File Exchange.
Yeah, which is mind-blowing.
Yeah,
because that's one of the best tools on eBay for sure for someone who likes Excel and can use Excel to be able to download something and then modify it and re-upload. I mean, yeah, it's amazing. It's like software basically without using any software.
So for those of you who are listening, there's like, if you don't know what File Exchange is, File Exchange allows you to upload CSV files to eBay, and you can literally do anything that you can do in your eBay account manually. You can create listings with photos. You can delete listings, revise them. You can do pretty much almost. I don't know if you can run like promoted listing campaigns and that kind of stuff. But when it comes to actually editing a listing, you can do like all of it.
That's what I was gonna look into next. I was gonna look and see if I could do markdowns with the File Exchange, like doing promotions and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm sure you've seen it. The handbook, the file on like the how-to.
Yeah.
That's something that exactly. I think people should read that, honestly, even if it's just like one of those things like we were talking about with buying a bunch of different courses. Even if you're not going to use the File Exchange, at least know what it's capable of and expand your knowledge of eBay. So honestly, you know what, Jack? I'm going to drop a link. I'm going to drop a link to that in the chat right now.
Awesome.
Exchange eBay user guide, because I want people to know what we're talking about, because I mean, that's one of the things I am passionate about, is using the File Exchange. But you introduced me to a guy who uses specifically the File Exchange. Do you want to talk about that a little bit more? I actually got in touch with that guy.
Yeah, and the reason I want to bring this up to people is because, like, from what I understand about the situation with eBay, if it really is targeting dropshippers to try and isolate them, this means a lot of things. And one of the most interesting ones is there's going to inevitably be less competition for if you're able to remain not identified or flagged, right? And the appeal here of File Exchange is that you can use software to create the files that get uploaded to File Exchange. So eBay has no way of knowing what software you are doing. It is literally completely anonymous, because you have it just creating the way to interact with eBay's existing File Exchange infrastructure. So this, I firmly believe that being able to use File Exchange properly can give you a big edge in the current condition of dropshipping on eBay. And it's something that I wanted to bring up and talk about, specifically because so few people know about it, right?
Yeah, and like I said,
really.
with my manual store, like I mentioned previously, I mean that's how I'm doing it and still able to manage it, is by downloading orders up into the File Exchange. And once I get enough orders, I'll just put trackings in the CSV files and then upload those into eBay, instead of having to go through every single one by one and add tracking. Literally just upload a file. And I've done that in the past, actually, when I first started dropshipping and found out about it. That was definitely the easiest way for me to do it with my Home Depot orders when I first started and I think I actually learned about the File Exchange from your YouTube videos, by the way. So that was definitely one valuable thing. And that just goes to show you were doing bulk dropshipping, nothing related to what my strategy was, but I learned from you by watching you and using the File Exchange or whatever. So that just proves, again, you should watch all the information you can about dropshipping if you want to be one of the best, or have the most knowledge on it. But anyway, having the ability to just go through your email, copy into a column, and copy paste, and then upload into there. I mean, before TrackerBot, that was, and even with TrackerBot, you're still having to connect software. Yeah. So if you want to do it completely manually and you want to do it quickly, then you got to know how to do the File Exchange. I'm looking now actually at the File Exchange. I'm trying to find if you can do a markdown. There's nothing about it in there.
I didn't think you could do anything promotional. It's all about like editing, adding, creating listings mostly.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you guys check it out, the table of contents in that file, I'm not sure. I saw you were pulling it up on your computer, but if anyone opens that file and looks in the table of contents, I mean, literally it explains every single thing. The only thing that I will say about the File Exchange, it looks like they haven't updated it since October of 2015. So they just like made it and then kind of just were like, all right, whatever.
So
we're not going to update this anymore.
I'm showing the file exchange document, and I'm going to just quickly show what the revising would look like, essentially. Because one of the things that you can do, obviously, with file exchange is to reprice your items when the prices change, and also change the stock of your item when your items go out of stock, right? So the way that you do this is quite simple. You have an Excel spreadsheet with 4 columns in it. I think it's 4. Is it like 3? One second.
You know, it's interesting. I don't want to steal the thunder here, but I did make a YouTube video on Tuesday on how to use the file exchange to revise listings.
Nice.
But yeah, still explain it. Yeah, I mean, obviously we need to explain it here, but I'm just saying, just pitching my channel a little bit.
No, the videos are good. I'm just not trying to like show people how to do it. I'm just trying to really get people to understand that like not enough people use file exchange, and it's incredibly useful, and it's looking like it is where if you get good at using file exchange, then you're interacting with or in a way with eBay that they're going to have a harder time telling that you're drop shipping.
Yeah.
If that's the direction they keep heading in.
So I just know this off the top of my head. I'm not looking at the file exchange right now, but if you go to page 33, just because I was on this learning from it yet the other day, page 33, it actually shows you how to modify variation listings. And that's something that, this is all about revising the item right here, I guess, on page 33 with the variation listings. SKUGrid, I don't think, can revise variation listings, can it? But if you use SKUGrid in conjunction, create some sort of Excel file that reads the SKUGrid file and then updates the variation listing accordingly, and then you upload that manually into eBay. There's a whole thing about it, but you're on page 14 right now. That's what it is. But
yeah, I'm on page 33 now in our actual conversation, but on the live stream it's.
Oh yeah, I see what you're. Okay, yeah, gotcha. That's funny. I was like, wait, you're not on page 33. But anyway, yeah, it was all about variation listings. And you can see like the relationship details and like how it tells you need to mark everything and all of that. But yeah, it was really interesting. I mean,
that's another kind of strategy to talk about. Because a lot of people avoid variations, but there's some people who will actually try and just only post variation items, specifically because if people are avoiding them, then maybe there's less competition, essentially. So if you can figure out how to use them properly. And I want to talk about this as well, because I'm starting to okay, right now I'm staying with Chris, right? And he's a physical seller, and his whole inventory, dude, like he doesn't have problems finding stuff. It's about being able to post the stuff, and it's all clothes and shoes. And it makes me really why did I always avoid that category when it represents such a large portion of purchased goods online? It's like 40%. It's insane. And that was a whole world that I just avoided because I didn't want to deal with variations and that kind of thing. And I wonder now, how true are those preconceptions I had? Is that right? Or is there actually a lot of money to be made in variations? It's totally worth that.
Yeah, I've made a lot of money selling shoes from Amazon, but I will say I have a lot of returns for shoes as well, because obviously they're going to be the highest returned items. Yeah. And I'm talking about drop shipped. I'm not talking about going and doing retail arbitrage and doing physical selling. I sell a lot of shoes, and like I said, I've seen a lot of them get returned, and they used to get returned to my house because I didn't have the free shipping on, where it would get shipped directly back to Amazon. If it was buyer's remorse, it would come through me, and then I would ship it back to Amazon. It was a pain in the ass, but I saw a lot of shoes every other day. So yeah, you're right. They do sell a lot, but the pain in the ass thing with it is the returns that you're going to have to deal with.
But in a lot of situations, the returns, it's just, you can automate that process. You don't really lose that much money. If your supplier offers free returns, then you lose the PayPal transaction fee, but it really doesn't matter that much, And that's something that was really appealing to me about dropshipping. And one of the reasons I always did bulk with Walmart, because I knew Walmart's not there are so many other sources, and it makes so much more sense to get experience with tons of different sources if you really want to earn money than it does to just do on one. But I was about like figuring out what happens and posting lots of stuff. And Walmart just seemed so appealing because it had that like relative safety, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Walmart's definitely one of the best sources to use drop shipping. And they also have, what do they have? Like a 90-day return policy, and like free returns. And yeah, it's just, what Amazon is a little bit stingy with their returns. It has to be, something like item not as described or something like that to get the free label. Walmart's like, whatever, we'll give you a free label.
You can rotate Amazon accounts though. It's the same stuff. Like you can get ordering accounts and just rotate them. And like you don't use the account or place enough orders for Amazon reps to notice that you're like having more returns than normal. Like if you have disposable ordering accounts, it's crazy. Like you can just work around all of that and get that like the best quality and reliable sources.
And I guess you were using Bazzar for those disposable accounts.
Yeah. And if Bazzar can do that reliably, that means that with time other people will, and there are going to be more and more ways to accomplish that. That's just, like just because I know about Bazzar, there's other people and places who do that, and I just don't know about them. Bazzar shows me that there are other people. It is more than just that. I just don't know the whole world,
Yeah, for sure. I'm that guy, Phil, the one that owns that's his name, right? Phil? I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah.
The guy that owns Bazzar. Yeah, he's a smart guy. I've always wondered how he's able to pull it off, but as long as it's legit, I guess we don't need to know.
He's like, it's interesting. I like Bazzar's one feature that is kind of different than other gift card marketplaces, and that's that Bazzar doesn't pay the seller of the gift card until the period of time has passed that you have to spend it. So this kind of shifts how the gift card marketplace functions, because the way that fraud traditionally works in a gift card marketplace is that people will purchase gift cards using somebody else's money or maybe even their own or whatever, and then they will sell them and have the numbers and spend that gift card. So any gift card provider that gives money straight away makes that opportunity. So it just doesn't make sense that that's how they function. And it does make sense that waiting to give the money until the person who's purchased it has verified it and spent it, that makes way more sense. Like if you, and like that gives me a bit of comfort, because that shows like, okay, this dude is actively interested in preventing fraud. He's not just like, oh yeah, fraud's bad, whatever. But like it actually means that there is a level of care there, which I think is really important.
Yeah, agreed. Because I'm sure those companies like Raise that have those policies of like, you're guaranteed the gift card for X amount of time, but they've already paid the seller. I'm sure they have to refund people all the time. In fact, I actually bought a fraudulent gift card from Raise one time, and they did refund me. So yeah, that was I mean, people who are worried about getting, buying gift cards and having that fraud, these gift card companies will protect you on that. And especially like Jack said with Bazzar, I mean, the way Phil's doing it where he doesn't pay the seller until you use the gift card obviously is probably the best way to do it, because then the money's right there for them to reimburse you instead of having to reimburse, right out of pocket. But
so I'm looking at the chat now. Ace Man and dropshipping as a way of life have been talking. It's cool. I love it when people actually have conversations in the chat.
Yeah, no, definitely. People helping each other out or just bouncing ideas off of each other.
Yeah.
And then like everyone who's in the chat is getting the information as well. All right, let me answer one question real quick. This guy's Ace Man asked, do you guys use Overstock? I heard they're not dropship friendly, but I know a family member who is shipping a decent amount for them. I actually use Overstock on Amazon. So yes, Overstock is dropship friendly. I don't think they ever cancel orders, to be honest. What's cool about them too is there's so much hidden margin on the back end with the Club O rewards and using the coupons that, I mean, you can, with a 12% coupon, you know, and the Club O rewards on the back end. And then, I mean, obviously, you know, you can't stack. I'm not sure whether it's the cashback sites. Yeah, you can't stack the cashback site and like the Club O rewards or whatever. But anyway, you're getting like 15 to 20% sometimes on the back end margin when you do all those things correctly. Not to mention that there's 9.5% gift cards on raise.com for Overstock if you're willing to use a gift card to buy on Overstock. Mm-hmm. I do so much volume, I don't do the gift card thing anymore, except for Amazon. But yeah, with Walmart, with my Amazon dropshipping, like Walmart to Amazon or Overstock to Amazon, I just use a credit card because it's too much of a hassle to go in and buy the gift cards every day. You know, when you're doing $5,000 to $10,000 a day in sales, and your VAs need to be placing orders, that's a lot of gift cards to try to get on a daily basis. And it's just easier from an accounting perspective, and from, like, you know, if you're ever an audited perspective, it's easier not to use
people don't like gift cards. Gift cards add like a sketchiness, which is hard to explain because you essentially anonymize things.
Yeah, but you're definitely, you know, there's the incentive is there if you can find a good system because you're getting that additional margin.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for me, I mean, I'm not like concerned, I guess, about adding an extra 5% if it's going to cause me a huge headache in the long run. But
there are some people who will. So on some platforms, you can use gift cards to purchase other gift cards. So I've talked to people who have like a cleaning process or a combining process where they have a VA and their whole job is to literally, like, they just buy gift cards and then use those gift cards to buy a bigger gift card, and then they make that list and then provide it to whoever places the orders in the company or whatever, you know. It's pretty cool.
I was talking to one girl. I'm not gonna name any names in case she doesn't want her name out there, but she buys a lot of gift cards from Card Bazaar. And what she does is she goes to Walmart, like you were saying before, and takes that small gift card and makes it into a bigger one. But she actually has to physically go to the Walmart store in order to do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, that just seemed kind of sketch. Because what if she gets some like what if she gets a reputation of coming in and people are like, oh, this girl's committing fraud, we need to investigate her?
No, she is single-handedly fighting that because she's not fraudulent, and she goes there so often. You know, the employees get to know her, and they eventually see that that's not the case because she's got to keep going there. She's around. She can explain what she does, you know?
That's true. It's true. But yeah, it is kind of washing the gift cards in a way. Like, because I will say this, when I use Card Bazaar, I used to use a software called EasyNC, I don't know, or eSync, EA Sync, something like that. Yeah. So I used that for Walmart, and I did use gift cards for that for a little bit. But then when I had a return or like a Paribus, you know, money found thing or whatever, and I got refunded, I have to go through my list of gift cards and be like, oh shit, I forgot to record what order that gift card was on. Like, and EasyNC has no way of doing that. So it's like, now I got to go through all of my gift cards on a monthly basis and see which ones have money, which ones don't. But if you just combined all those smaller gift cards into a bigger one, bam, there's your solution right there. Now you don't have to spend a ton of time going through and trying to find which one your money went to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. All right, so we've been on for over an hour and a half now, and unfortunately I told my girlfriend that this would only be 30 minutes when I first started, so I'm sure she's in the other room with my dog like, damn it, Tyler, why are you spending so much time on YouTube and not me? Which I don't blame her.
Well, that's a good reason to have to end things.
Yeah.
It was awesome enjoyed to talk to you.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on the channel, and just one last course pitch, Jack. There is a link in the description below for my dropshipping course. It's going to teach you everything you need to know about automating your dropshipping business. and it's called the automated dropshipping blueprint. So the title says it all. And also, let me put the code in there again for a $47 course, Blackjack Friday. And that's for Jack, obviously, and Black Friday special. And if you buy the course, as I said earlier, Jack gets to eat another day, so he'll get 50% of that course sale. All right, Jack, I'm done pitching my course. Anything you want to wrap it up with?
Nah, it's all good, man. It was a pleasure hearing from you.
Yeah, definitely. And I got to get you back on my channel here soon. I always enjoy it. We'll do another. Although when I say that, I want to do another. I want to do another surprise live guest. So we just gotta throw that in there randomly in a few weeks or something. Can't do it every week, or else they're gonna end up knowing it's you every time.
Yeah.
All right, man.
So I'm gonna keep the stream going because I'm gonna answer some questions in the chat before I go. So I just want to let you know.
Cool. So I just click hang up then, and we're good.
Yep.
All right, man. Thanks again for having me on.
No worries. It was a pleasure.
Bye.
Ciao. What's up, guys? All right. So real quick, let's see. Luxury card store said to be careful buying gift cards with gift cards because it can trigger a money laundering investigation. And they worked for a large bank and they were big on investigation for potential money laundering. And that makes sense. Because there's people who do real shiesty stuff like that. Supposedly, like if you're running your dropshipping business properly, you would be able to prove you're not laundering money, but inherently dropshipping in its nature, there's ways to do it that are more risky where like you may get more money, but you can't do it longer. And it's also relevant to understand that like a person who's in the US dropshipping, they have more vulnerabilities in a sense to these kind of things. Whereas people overseas, in a lot of situations, there's just like once an account is banned, that's often all that can really be done, And I will say that using gift cards on different sources, while it does allow you to earn more money, you are going to find that sources are more likely to cancel your orders. I can say from experience with Walmart that almost all of my order cancellations, like times where they would just cancel orders, I was placing between 20 and 30 orders a day on Walmart for most of the longer bulk dropshipping career. And a lot of the time when I would get cancellations, it was because of a batch of gift cards that I had used that had been marked as fraudulent, right? So Walmart canceled all orders related to any of those gift cards. So I found that, I was in a situation where I had this money that every time I used this gift card, it would get like, Walmart would see that the money was on it and say that it was full, but anytime that I tried to use it, the order from that gift card would get canceled. So in these situations, I was always able to place and process the order just by using my own information. And I used to practice something I called staining, which is essentially like I would use my credit card information so that my identity was attached to the order most of the time. So I would finish up a gift card transaction, and then I'd have like $1 or $2 left, whatever, on the order, and I would use my credit card to pay for the rest of that order. Because essentially, if you are putting your identity there, that does help validate things, and you get like kind of a better experience. You're not going to get as many cancellations because you used a gift card to get that profit on this sale, but at the same time, you showed your identity, who you are with the credit card. So Walmart kind of treats it as a credit card. They're more confident in that transaction, and you just happen to use a gift card on the side, if that makes sense. And I found that like I would every couple of orders, I would just place an order with my credit card. I made sure to use that regularly because I found that it limited the problems I had with Walmart related to gift card usage. So now let's see. Fortnite Legend says they heard people who got stuck because PayPal froze their account for checking. How often does this happen? Would you suggest you only sell stuff that you can pay from your pocket in case? So dropshipping in its very nature is pretty volatile. And like, there's reasons that I'm not actively interested in continuously dropshipping for a long time. Dropshipping is really useful to get yourself out of a situation and into a better situation relatively quickly, to be honest. Like really, maybe it seems like a year or 2 or even 3 years is a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, if it takes you 3 years to get from a point where you hate your life and you're unhappy to a point where you can like do what you want, well, like that's really worth it, you know? Like that 3 years seems like a long time when it hasn't happened yet, but after it has happened, it's like, hell yeah, it was worth it. Like, you know what I mean? And so it's important to just understand that, like, you should use dropshipping kind of as a, holy crap, somebody did a $5 thing? I've never seen that before. That's crazy. That distracted me. Sorry, thank you. So, and then that derailed me. All right. So, PayPal will freeze accounts when they're investigating them. I don't know anybody who's had that happen, but I have heard of it. I'm also not really in touch with people who have had it happen, but I've heard of it. People who I am in touch with have told me that they know people who that's happened to. And in general, with dropshipping, if you really want to be like, you want to make it last, then yeah, you shouldn't ever need the money from it. You should always be able to just overnight suddenly lose your dropshipping business and you actually be okay. You should never fully rely on dropshipping. It's not something that is healthy to treat that way. Like, you can do that for a period of time, maybe years, but to fully rely on it for 10, 20 years, only a very, very, very small fraction of people could actually successfully do that without having problems come up from it. So it really makes the best as a stepping stone towards something else that is more relevant to you as an individual and more stable, right? For the Nicaragua fund. That's awesome. All right, so dropshipping is a way of life says that PayPal just started holding funds from random transactions again, and won't really give any reason why. That's unfortunate. So I don't know how long your PayPal history is, but the biggest thing with PayPal, like, you're gonna experience some crazy stuff with them. Usually in the first like maybe 1 or 2 years. You might find that they suddenly change how much of your money goes on hold. Like I had like 3 different styles of hold that happened to me. But ultimately, once you show PayPal a long history, like multiple years of history, your PayPal experience will become much more solid, and you'll get almost all of your money straight away, which is pretty awesome. What? Another person? That's insane. If I live stream, people can send me $5. I didn't even know that. Holy crap. The Nicaragua fund. Oh man, thank you. Okay. Whoa. Oh, I can like move stuff. Oh, I see. It goes in the chat. Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. All right, guys. I'm going to head out now. This was really awesome. I'm going to try and do some more live streams like this. It's definitely a cool format, and I like being able to interact with you guys in the chat. It's fun. And yeah, see you next time. Ciao.